Would you like better immersion and enhanced situational awareness in Star Citizen? Well, Tobii reached out to me and said they can help with that. This is a sponsored video, but I've been using Tobii Eye Tracker 5 ever since I got it, and I want to share with you what it can do to improve your Star Citizen experience. So what is Tobii Eye Tracker 5? Well, I think it's better if I just show you in-game here. You can see I'm in my Gladius. I'm going to turn it on with the hotkey I already set up recently. So if I just look forward and I gaze to the left and then gaze to the right and then up and down, you'll see that it will follow my eyes. Will also just follow my head if I move it. Now you can set up the sensitivity curves how you like so it's not as jarring. But as an example, I quickly wanted to show you this. So another thing, it does work with your frames, your glasses. So I did get this from my mom since my pair is missing at the moment. So I've got them here. My eyes will look very big, but yeah. Let's quickly take a look if this works. We go to the left here with my eyes, go to the right, up and down. Plus it works with my head as well. So super nice. I can't see a thing, but I managed to quickly snag these. Back to normal here. Now another thing is, this device also helps you play in the dark. So if I turn off all my lights here, you can see it's pretty dark now. I turned off everything. It's just my screens that are on. A little bit of a backlight here and there, but you can see it can still follow my eyes. I'm going to look left, I'm going to look right, up and down. And now for the head movement, you can see it also follows quite easily, even though all my lights are off. Tobii also comes with a lot of special features. Let me quickly show you. For the first feature here, I activated Tobii Ghost. Just a little bubble on the screen so that you can see where I'm looking. Right now I'm looking at the enemy and I can select it. Let's go back to green. So I can just quickly jump between them depending on where I'm looking, which is very convenient, especially if there's multiple targets. See, even if my nose is a little bit off center, I can still select them quite easily. This also works with missiles. So if I run away just a little bit here, go into missile mode. Let's see if we can shoot the missile towards this guy. Even though my nose is not on it, but I'm looking at it, I can still shoot my missile. So that's the second feature, which is very nice. You do not have to point your nose towards them anymore. You can just use your gaze and look at them while flying. So very convenient. That's only some of the gaze-based features, but there's also another feature that I quickly want to show you where you can slave your gimbals to your head. So if I'm in my cockpit here, I activate Tobii and then I press G to activate my gimbals. You can see I can move the reticle around with only using my head. So I can shoot here left, shoot in the middle and the right. This might be super helpful for somebody that can't hold a mouse or a joystick and they still want to aim. This might help them quite a bit. I'm also disabled. I only have 3 fingers on my left hand and about 2 on my right hand. So I just wanted to include this. Maybe it make gaming a bit easier for somebody else. But that's all our features that I wanted to show here. Let me show you how to set up Tobii so that you can actually get going. Your Tobii Eye Tracker will come in a super nice box. In the box, you'll find an extension cord, the mount for Tobii Eye Tracker, as well as an alcohol cloth so that you can clean your screen when you attach it. You'll see here the Tobii Eye Tracker does have some infrared lights that can bounce off your eyeballs. I already attached mine to my screen. On camera, they look super intrusive, but in reality, it's just 4 little red lights that's constantly on and it doesn't bother me at all. Once you've got your Tobii plugged in and ready, you can just head over to the website to download all of the drivers and software. You can just click Tobii here, select your device, Tobii Eye Tracker 5, just say download and you're all good to go. You also get 2 other softwares. For example, you get Tobii Ghost here. This is perfect if you're a content creator and want to show people exactly where you want to look. Or if you're playing something else than Star Citizen, then you can download Tobii Game Hub here. so that it can support other games. But it's already supported for Star Citizen, so you do not have to download this. After downloading Tobii Experience, you want to go to settings here, scroll all the way down and say setup display. Here you will see is your Tobii. You want to line up these lines with your Tobii here, just on your screen so that you can find the middle. You'll see little white lines on your Tobii so that you can line them up perfectly. Once done, just hit done here. Now you need to calibrate your eyes. Just set up straight. My calibration didn't open, so you just go to settings here again and say improve calibration. It will show your eyes here. So just wait a minute. As I lean back, there we go. Now we need to look at the dots. So just look at the middle, then look left, at the top, and the right until it loads. There you can see successful. Now that Tobii is set up, we can log into Star Citizen and set it up there as well. To set up your settings, I like to do it in free fly. So I'm just going to go to Arena Commander here, go to offline, choose free fly, then the map here. I like to choose Jericho. Let's launch so that we can actually see in real time what we are adjusting. Okay, here we go. We're inside. Just hit escape options. Now we're going to set up our settings here. First, we want to go to key bindings, advanced controls, scroll down all the way until you see VoIP and head tracking. Open it up. First up, we want a key binding to enable and disable head tracking. So mine is just period. Then you can also bind something for head tracking hold. This will just allow you to hold down a button and enable head tracking so that you can use it, but not as helpful to me. So let's move on. You can also bind a recenter head tracking key here, but I just turn mine on and off with my period key. And then also we get enable, disable head tracking for third person camera. Mine is just slash. If we head in game here, you can see my head tracking is on. If I hit period, I will turn it off. And if I hit it again, I will recenter myself. So that's how I recenter. If I go third person here, you can see I can move my third person camera just by looking. But if I hit slash, I will basically turn it off so that I can just look normally. Very helpful actually, but let's customize the other settings. So escape options again. Let's go to comms, VoIP, and head tracking. Now to actually set up Tobii Eye Tracker, we need to select Tobii here by source. So make sure you have this selected. And then of course, just underneath, we need to enable it as well. So just hit yes. And then right underneath, use position offset in cockpit. I said no, but we can quickly enable it just to see what it does. So if we go here, you can see if I move my body back and forth, I will actually move in the cockpit. I do not like this, so I'm going to disable it. Options, comms here, position offset again, disable. Now if we go back here, you'll see that my body won't be moving, just my head. So that's very convenient for me so that I don't get motion sickness. Back at settings here, auto recalibrate, just say yes. Whenever you leave your seat and enter it again, it will auto recalibrate, which is very nice. Now let's scroll down a bit. You can see here's the smoothing settings, but I have mine at 0. I don't really care too much about smoothing it out, but if it's a bit too jarring to you, you can increase these sliders. And then for disable while seated, if we disable this, then it will actually disable our head tracking while in a seat. So we do not want this. So it's a no for me. And then underneath here is all my other settings. You can see here, disable during interaction mode, yes. Disable during FPS, yes. You can say no. And then when you're on foot, you will see that you can use head tracking. While in FPS mode, for example, if I just hit no here, go back to my cockpit, let's exit. You can see I'm in first person mode, FPS mode. So if I look around, you can see that I can actually look independently at where I'm aiming, but this confuses me so much, plus it messes up my aim, so I do not really enjoy this. So I'm going to disable it. Just go to comms here. Disable during FPS mode. I'm going to turn this off again. Go back to game. Now I can't move my head while I'm in FPS mode. Let's get back into our ship. Go back at FPS here. Disable during FPS. We said yes. I'm also going to disable this during ADS. So when you aim down sights. Also a yes. Disable during Mobi glass. So I do not want to enable this while I'm using my Mobi glass. But let's just say I say no. And I use my Mobi glass. In this case I can't, but you'll see that it's very disorientating. So I'm just going to disable it as well. So yes, disable during interaction mode. I'm going to say yes. Enable roll in seat. This is yes as well. So what this does, if I'm looking here, I can turn my head and I will give a slight roll. I kind of find this useful. For example, if I go forward and I roll just a little bit with my ship, sometimes I automatically roll my head with my ship. It's just the gamer thing, right? That helps the immersion just a little bit here and there. But if it makes you drunk or make you dizzy, turn it off. And just underneath enable roll in seat is enable roll in FPS. Also a no for me. So not very good. External view toggle, this is no at the moment, but you can say yes. If you bound the key, which is slash, you can just leave it on yes. I think it turns on and off as you type it. So it will probably go to no when you hit the key. It will go on and off. Disable in inventory, also yes. And then use offset device, no. Let's scroll down. Disable after X seconds of missing input. Yes, this will just recenter your camera. Here's the input scale, so just how much input you want to give. Here is the dead zones, which I just left at default, which is very nice. Scroll down a bit more. Position offset based on rotation, I said no. Gaze based target selection, I said yes. This is when you want to select the target. You just have to look at it and then hit T. In this case, I bound it to my joystick. So if I go to key bindings, go to my joystick here, advanced controls, then scroll to vehicle targeting, open it up, scroll down a bit, lock selected target. I just put it on a key on my joystick, head up in this case, so that I can just quickly select the target. Make sure you unbind any other selections. So you only have this. I think target cycling, you need to unbind here, so you don't mess up this keybind. So make sure that you only have this one when you have gaze-based targeting. We're going to go back to the comms here and then make our way back to gaze-based missile lock. So gaze-based missile lock works the same as gaze-based targeting. You look at your target and you just lock the missile. Once it's locked, you can just fire it. I said yes. If you like bombs, then gaze-based direct impact point, you can say yes. Works basically the same, but you need to go to game settings here. Scroll down until you see bombs here, desired impact point direction. You need to say look direction always so that you can look at an area, select it, and then you can go bomb it. I do not have footage for this since I never play with an A1 or A2, but this is basically how you activate it. Now let's go back to our settings here. Now just under that bomb setting, we get input gaze method. There's two methods that you can use. You can either use input mix or you can use camera boost. Now, what is camera boost? Well, it basically allows you to increase your head movement by also pairing it with your eyes. So for example, imagine there's a big dead zone in the middle of your screen where only head movements will count. But as soon as you gaze above that dead zone, your eyes will allow your head to move a little bit faster. So let's say somebody goes behind you and you look to the corner, your head will follow a little bit faster. So this is very good. If you don't care too much about looking with your eyes, but more with your head, then this will help you be a little bit more efficient with your head so you don't have to kill your neck. But for now, I'm just going to switch it back just so that I can show a few things with my eyes. But camera boost is very nice. Just underneath it, there's camera boost values. So just how sensitive it is, the more it is, the more sensitive. And also increase or decrease the dead zone. I just leave it at 50. Feels pretty good. Next up, the input mix. So this is basically your gaze and your head. All the way to the left at 0 is more eyes, and all the way to the right is more head movement. So you can choose, I like 50%. You can also choose the responsiveness. 50 feels pretty good to me, but you can decide on how you like it. Underneath is just the sensitivity for everything here. So pretty common knowledge. Just do whatever you like. I do 3.5. I think that was a default, maybe. Not quite sure, but 3.5 for me. Edge sensitivity for rolling. Just the one, and then central stabilization. I leave this at 50. The less it is, the more micro movements will influence what your character is doing with its head. So 50% feels pretty good to me as well. Auto center enabled. This will just automatically center your vision every now and then we get a complete copy of FPS. If you like a tracking in FPS mode, then you also have your curves and everything right here underneath. If you want to slave your gimbals to your head, you can go to game settings here, go all the way down to pilot weapons, manual gimbal mode, default slaving, and just use look direction. This will allow you to slave your gimbals. For example, we go here, back into game, and I press G, you can see that I can move my aiming reticle just with my head. So that's basically how you do that. Just wanted to include it. Maybe some of you find it useful, but not really for me. So I'll probably turn that back. That's basically all the settings you need to know. If you want to win a Tobii Eye Tracker, then check the description. They have a giveaway going. And also, if you want a nice 15% discount until the 5th of June, then use my link in the description. I will get a small kickback, which will help the channel. So thank you very much. A big thank you to Tobii for supporting the channel and sponsoring this video. It definitely helped quite a bit.